I'm getting the signal. One more question? Okay. I'm going to have to call on the guy with the collar. What can I do? You know, I didn't mean to outrank you here, but
sorry, Matt. Mr. President, Father Michael Amadale, pastor of Holy Trinity Catholic Church here in Beavidale, as well as the school that in 2008 was the recipient of the Department of Education's Blue Ribbon Award.
Congratulations.
So, thank you for being here.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Secondly, thank you for your leadership. These are very tough economic times, tough times for our country in regards to men and women being deployed.
Yeah.
My question for you comes from a member of my congregation who is 55 years of age, has a wife, 2 children who are freshmen in high school.
Right.
A year ago, he lost his job in manufacturing. He's been unemployed now for a year plus. What will your economic policies do for him within the next year, and hopefully to be able to secure a job and have that American dream again, which has now been lost?
Well, you know, obviously that story is duplicated all across the country, and you know, I get letters. I get about 40,000 letters or emails from constituents across the country every single day, and my staff selects out about 10 of them for me to read each night, sort of a representative sampling. I know this is a representative sampling because about half the letters call me an idiot. So they're not screening them out. But a bunch of those, you know, a bunch of those letters talk about, I'm 50 years old, I've worked hard all my life, you know, I've looked after my family, the plant closed, or you know, the office shut down, and it's very hard for me now to find work. You know, the jobs that are available pay, you know, 20–30% less than what I was making before. Sometimes the parents write about them feeling ashamed that they can't provide for their kids the way they wanted to. Sometimes I get letters from kids who aren't at all ashamed of their parents. They love their parents. They're proud of them. But they know that their parents are feeling bad. And so they write to me saying, you know, I wish you could just do something because my dad or my mom, they look like they're losing hope, and they're lost, and I feel bad. So what you know you're hearing is what a lot of folks are going through all across the country, and I think I've spoken generally about what we can do long term for our economic competitiveness. There are some things that we're doing immediately to try to improve the business climate. So as I already mentioned, trying to get businesses who actually have a lot of cash, they're making profits now, to invest those profits now as opposed to sitting on the sidelines or holding them. In plant and equipment and research and development, we're trying to change sort of the incentive structures and the tax codes to spur on additional business investment. If the member of your congregation, your parishioner, was in manufacturing, one of the things that we think holds a lot of promise is the whole clean energy sector. Because some of the manufacturing jobs that have been lost just won't come back, partly because manufacturing has become much more efficient. I mean, a lot of people think that the reason manufacturing has gone down so fast is because all these jobs have been shipped overseas. Well, that's a contributing factor. There's no doubt China took a whole lot of our manufacturing jobs. Prior to that, Mexico. Next will be Vietnam or Malaysia or other countries, just because their wages are much lower. But, and frankly, it's also because sometimes our trade deals weren't enforced very well. And one of the things that I'm saying is I believe in free trade. I think that it can grow our economy. We already heard from a businessman who is involved in international trade, but I think it is very important to make sure that trade is fair and that each side is being treated equally. And right now, that's not always the case. But it turns out that a lot of manufacturing has declined just because it's gotten so much more efficient. You go into a steel plant now that used to take 10 folks to put out 1 unit of steel. Now you need 1 person with a computer. When you go into just about any manufacturing plant these days, so much of it is automated. You've got these robot arms, and it's all clean and pristine, and it's a different type of industry now. So that's where a lot of jobs have been lost. But here's the good news. The clean energy sector, I think, is going to be a huge growth sector. And what we did during the Recovery Act was we invested in companies, including companies here in Iowa. I was out at a wind farm, where was that? Out in Fort Madison. Siemens, where you go here and what was just a shutdown factory, they've reopened. They're building the blades for these massive windmills, and they had just hired several hundred people and were looking at hiring several hundred more because they are seeing some certainty in the renewable energy industry. And so they had actually hired a lot of folks who were coming off traditional manufacturing industries, applying their new skills to these new jobs. The same is happening in advanced battery manufacturing. I don't know how many people here have a hybrid car. If you got a couple of folks. It turns out that we weren't making the batteries that are going into these hybrid and electric cars. They were all being made elsewhere. We had about 2% of the market. So as part of the Recovery Act, what we said was, let's invest in creating our own homegrown advanced battery manufacturing. And we're on track now by 2015 to have 40% of the market. And we were in Michigan and looking at one of these plants. A lot of the folks who were there are folks who used to work as suppliers for the auto industry. They had gotten laid off, and now they're back helping to build what will be the cars of the future. These advanced batteries that they're building are going into the Chevy Volt, which is a American-built clean energy car, a car of the future. So there are still going to be opportunities for skilled tradesmen, people who've worked in manufacturing, but it's not going to be in just these massive factories of the 1950s. It's going to be in these new factories focusing on new industries, and this is where innovation and research and development is so important. The one thing that's going to happen, though, is that parishioner is going to need probably to update some of their skills, because, as I said, the fact that they know manufacturing, they know machines and tools, all that's going to be helpful, but they're also probably going to need to work a computer better. They're going to need to know how to diagnose a big, complicated system looking at a flat screen inside the factory, as opposed to tooling around and opening things up to see what's going on. And that may require some retraining, and that's, again, why the community college system can be so important. A lot of folks at the age of 50, they don't need 2 years of education, but they may need 6 months where they're able to retool and get some help paying the bills and making the mortgage while they are retooling. And those are the kinds of programs that I think we need to set up. Well, listen, this has been terrific. I am so grateful to all of you for taking the time to be here. As I listen to the questions, It's a good reminder. We've got a long way to go, but I do want everybody to feel encouraged about our future. This goes to the first question that was asked about the next generation. America is still the wealthiest country on earth. We have the best colleges and universities on earth. It still has the most dynamic entrepreneurial culture on earth. We've got the most productive workers of just about any advanced nation. We still have huge advantages, and people, billions of people around the world would still love the chance to be here. And so I don't want everybody to forget that, that we've been through tougher times before, and we're going to get through these times. But typically when we've gotten through tough times, it's because we all buckled down and we refocused and we came together and we made some tough but necessary adjustments and changes in how we approach the future. And I'm confident we're going to do that again. But it's going to happen not just because of me, the president. It's going to happen because of individual small businesses. It's going to happen because of what's happening in congregations. It's going to happen because of what young people are doing, thinking about their future and how they're applying themselves to their studies. All of us are going to have to be pulling together and refocusing on the future and not just the present. If we do that, we're going to do fine. So thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.